Okay. Hey, everybody. Sorry for the two-part video today, but this is a continuation of that last little 6-minute segment that we were talking about, where we're going through these phases of multidimensional experiences, karma completions going on from 2019 into the next 2 to 3 years. And yes, there it can even go beyond that. But many of you will notice that you're experiencing some really amazing things as you open up your gifts. My soul, I'm bringing up this to give you an example from my soul that just happened this past November. I went to excuse me, metaphysical fair in Tarrytown, New York last November. And in that time frame, I was packing up to leave, and this is one of those multidimensional experiences that I want to share with you, because this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. It's about karmic completions, and it's good for you to know that this cycle, there's going to be portals in your soul opening up for healing, clearing, changes, and karmic completion during the next 3 to 5 years and 5 to 8 years, pretty strong, all right, going out. And that's part of the reason we did this last YouTube and this one as well, okay, and are doing this YouTube as well. It's a 2-part YouTube. So, but what I wanted to talk to you about is this karmic completion that I was having had to do with metaphysical learning, the things that I asked God for, both consciously and subconsciously, and what my soul came in here to do, what is happening in the world, as well as what I'm here to share with you and guided to share with you from spirit, from love, so that my job is to be a teacher for the teachers and to help everybody and assist them through their journey here, and to be their greatest selves, so we all can work together to become and be and make the planet as well the purest form of love in this reality, any reality, and all that is, all right? And that's totally the mission here for all of us on a personal level, as well as across in this whole dimension, and all that is God always, right? All right, so that said, this past November, I had a really bizarre metaphysical experience, and this is the kind of stuff that many of you will be experiencing. And this is also about multidimensional karmic completions, because this soul thing that happened to me was about what universe has said to me after, as I've gone through all this, what they said to me. And it is totally obvious now that when I look back and I see these experiences and I remember the things that happened, that this is totally about karmic witchcraft lifetimes, very, very powerful metaphysical people, and agreements and unwellnesses and things that happened. All right. And it is time for us to complete any and all of these things within our souls and with our agreements with other souls, right? And to heal those things and to move forward, right? Put them in the healthiest place on the shelf within ourselves and complete the learning, the karmic debts, and all that has to do with that metaphysically, lessons, wisdom, guidance, understanding, as well as not just from the past and within our souls, right, but into the present now to teach and work with now, and understanding our power, our magic, our love energy beings that we truly are, not necessarily that which we're taught here in Earth world, what they say, like society says Earth world is like, in our belief systems from that space of the vibration that is in Earth world. This is about super high-end metaphysical stuff internally in our souls, working with love energy and meshing all of these things together, okay? And these are the experiences that we're going to be having. This is just one to give you an idea about past lives, karma in our soul, how our soul will bring up based on what we ask for, and when it is time, what we call God's time, when it is best for your soul and all to have these experiences, and based on what you ask God for consciously, what you're here to do in the world, is the what you call divine timing, is when it all comes out. So I was at this event, okay, and this is crazy. I was at this event in Tarrytown, New York, and this is about me having ancient witchcraft lifetimes from Celtic days across the board, some pretty wild stuff, and my soul went through this 5-month, 6-month cycle of metaphysical healing, and this is one of those experiences that I want to share with you, because it totally brought into Earth world whole different dimension, whole different piece of my soul from different lifetimes. And it was just crazy how it went down. So I want to share that with you now so you get a better understanding, so that when you are experiencing this stuff and your head is kind of spinning and your soul is going and doing its thing and you're kind of trying to wrap your head around what's going on here, because we are in earth world. So therefore we must be able to understand what the God's honest truth is about what is going on here in both earth world vibration as well as metaphysical, with the highest source of love, and the understanding within ourselves and our souls, right? When all that is this, right? So I'm sharing this with you so you guys get a better scope of the crazy, when I say crazy, really neat, amazing stuff that can happen and does happen for anybody and everybody who has and is on the conscious journey or on this journey, who came in here to change the world at whatever level you are at. There will be experiences similar to this, and for all of us at all different levels, at all different times, and especially in the next 2 to 3 years, as your soul releases stuff, and very prominently this year as well, 2020. All right, because 2020 is a 4-year. It is a number, if you add the numbers together in numerology, is the number of completion. So lots of old cycles in your soul, completions, soul pacts, soul disagreements, soul stuff that is unfinished between different souls will now get finished. And what's crazy is, in this particular case, it's going to be both metaphysical and in earth world, everything is, but in really, in my particular case, and in many cases, what is the word I'm looking for? Many of the times of these experiences that you guys are going to be going through are going to be super magical and super multidimensional, and at times you're going to be ungrounded and you're going to be spinning a little bit and say, what the fuck is really going on here, right? So that's why I'm being guided to talk to you about this, so that you get a better understanding of the truth about what is going on. And one of these experiences that I just had in New York, as I was saying, was where I was packing up to leave, and I was going to go home. I put all my stuff outside in the car, and as I was going outside to go to the car, there's a row of, like, I want to say like at least 18 doors, 20 doors, right, in the back of the expo for everybody to leave if they want to leave, right, and go pack up their car. So I went out the expo doors and I put a chair in place because the doors automatically lock behind you, and then I would have had to walk like a whole ways all the way around, and it would have been a waste of my time and energy. So I put a chair there to hold the door open a little bit so I could get back in. Well, when I came back in, there was a man and a woman there, and either they moved the chair or somebody moved the chair, and I could not get back into the building through those glass doors. So I would have had to walk clearly all around. And this was after the event was over. So there wasn't a lot of people around, but there was literally enough people, right? Because people are still packing up. So I knocked on the door, and I said to them, I said, hey, could you let me in? There was a little bit older man around my age and an older woman, right? And I could feel her energy, and it was all sorts of nasty. And she walked up, and then there was another woman, right? So there were 2 women. A woman was standing there, another one came up to her, and then there was a man. And I knocked on the door, and mind you, the door is like as close to me as this banister. It is right behind me, and they are standing right there. And I'm talking to them. I'm knocking on the door. The door is locked. I tried to get it myself. Somebody moved the chair, and I couldn't get in, right? And I was like, okay. Well, I knocked on the door. I said, hey, could you please open the door? And they're looking at me like I'm on another fucking planet, and they're not listening to me. I'm like, hey, I need to get back in there and get my stuff. Would you please just open the door here? And they're looking at me, and the one woman, right, who walked up, looks right at me and gives me like this strange look and leaves, literally walks away, right? Here I am, a person in Earth World trying to get in the door that is locked. They're standing right next to it. They know I'm with the expo, and they won't let me in. And I'm like, okay, this is some weirdo fucked up shit. This is, if anything, it's not well people behavior, because if you see a person knocking at the door and you're in a building and they're asking you to let them in, and you can see, whether and you can feel their energy, whether they're a threat or not, right? You can feel that, right? So why wouldn't you help the person, right? So then I'm just like on edge, because I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to understand why these people won't let me in. And the guy looks at me, and I'm like, hey, can you open the door? And there's another guy and another woman still standing there, and neither one of them are opening the door. And he's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I want to come in and get the rest of my stuff. Can you please open the door? And he's literally vacillating, right? And he's like, he doesn't know if he should open the door. And I can feel my energy from the depths of my soul coming up. And I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, this is way beyond earth world, and I can feel it, right? And the guy is with the girl, and he doesn't want to like get her upset, so he's not letting me in the door, and I can feel his energy. And then this incredible, amazing power came through me, and I was like, uh-oh, because that's my soul on a subconscious level. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this shit is gonna hit the fan now. And I'm like wondering at the same time, what is gonna happen? Because I know when my soul does this shit, something else is going on here. And this is what I'm talking about. So my soul, I can feel it. I can feel that energy. I'm like, holy shit. My soul is getting infuriated because they're not doing the right thing from love, not only in earth world, but there's some weird ass shit going on here that is from lifetimes. And I'm like, oh no. And I can feel all this power coming over me. And this guy is like not really answering me, not really acknowledging me, and not opening the door. And all I'm doing is asking him to let me in so I can get my stuff, right? So I can go home, right? And the woman next to him, right? I go, is standing there, and she's like trying to convince him not to open the door for me. And I'm like, is this really happening, God? And I can feel myself morphing. I can feel this strange energy. So now I'm not really present in earth world. I'm in a different multi-dimensional space within my soul and with these people, right? And so finally, the woman is trying to make him not let me in, right? With whatever weird stuff she's saying. I'm like, hey, let me in. And by this time, I'm fucking furious because I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this like really real? So then the guy finally opens the door, ultimately, because on a soul level, he knew that the shit was going to hit the fan with my soul and the energy that was going on. And ultimately, it was like basically a battle between me and her, right? On a metaphysical level. This man was all hooked up and intertwined with this woman. He didn't want to disappoint her, but on a subliminal soul level, he didn't want to fuck with me either. So he ultimately opened the door and I came in and I looked at her and she looked at me and she goes, your energy is nasty. And I'm like, no, hun. I said, you're a bitch. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you that you can't open the door for me? And she's like, screaming at me, like yelling at me. And meanwhile, everybody's trying to pack up. And it was like so surreal because we're not even in the same space. Like we're in that space in earth world, but nobody is seeing this or feeling this or really experiencing this and knowing this is going on, but the three of us at that fucking door. So I come in, I walk away, and she yells at me that I am the bitch. She goes, my energy is nasty and I'm the bitch, right? And that was when I turned around and I said, hey, no, you're the bitch. I said, you didn't do the right thing here. And then she starts boiling up this energy, right? And she starts wailing it at me. And I'm like, oh, you little... And I didn't even say it. I just said, okay, God, handle this now, please. I wailed this energy back at you. And I said, take that have that 10 to 100 fold. I said, because I'm not fucking playing here. And this was really the story of what happened. And I was so fucking wild. My energy was like through the roof. I was super angry because this was about an ancient witchcraft battle. She took the energy, tried to wail it at me. She started yelling at me that I was nasty and she's not letting me in and all this crappy unwell stuff she's yelling at me, right? And I'm just trying to walk by, get in, walk by, walk through, get my shit done and get the fuck out. And here she is giving me a hassle. And so it was time in this energy for my soul to call this in. And she totally initiated it. And she literally took the energy and wailed it back at me. Now I'm going to have to do a third part to this. So get ready because it's coming. It's just the ending really of this. So look for it in a minute and we'll get back on it. Thanks.